Hi, and welcome to this overview of air pollution and its impact on people's health. This film will cover what air pollution is, how it affects our health throughout our lives, what actions we can take to reduce the health risks, and how we can lower our own contribution to air pollutants. What is air pollution?
An illustration of a healthy tree with leaves is shown, which fades into a dead tree trunk with no leaves as smoke fills the screen. Icons of a chemistry beaker, a campfire, and a biological cell are then shown.
Air pollution is the contamination of the environment we live in by any chemical, physical, or biological agent that changes the characteristics of the air we breathe. Most of these pollutants are invisible, but sometimes when the concentration of the air pollution is particularly high, they can be seen.
An illustration of an industrial cityscape with houses, factories, and a power plant appears and smoke starts to rise from chimneys.
Like in industrial cities, where we can clearly see smog coming from large power plants. Air pollution can be man-made or it can form naturally. Examples of man-made pollution include the emissions released when we drive vehicles, the smoke produced when we burn fuels such as wood and coal in our homes, and the chemicals released when we use certain cleaning products, paints, and solvents. When air pollution is formed naturally by the environment, it is often the result of natural events such as wildfires, erupting volcanoes, and blown sea spray and sand.
An icon of a person is shown, and a car emitting exhaust fumes passes underneath the person, followed behind by images of a barbecue, a wooden log on a fire, lumps of coal on fire, and some bottles of cleaning products.
All of us have some control over the amount of man-made pollutants we emit into the air.
Outlines of the UK and Iceland are shown. An erupting volcano pops up within Iceland. Smoke that is rising from the volcano moves towards and then over the UK on the wind.
But naturally occurring pollution often happens outside of the UK and travels into the country with changes in the weather.
Two images are shown. A chemical structure with the text nitrogen dioxide below it, and a collection of small dots slowly expanding from a central point with the text particulate matter below it. A power station and car emitting fumes appear under the nitrogen dioxide, and beneath the particle matter, images appear of wood and coal on fire, and a house which changes colour from blue to red.
There are many different types of harmful pollutants, but the two which are most harmful to our health are nitrogen dioxide, which comes mainly from our transport and energy generation, and particulate matter, of which 38% comes from the burning of wood or coal to heat our homes. Poor air quality can affect our health at every stage of life. The health effects of air pollution are complex and can affect us at any stage of our lives. They range in severity and impact.
A graph with damage to health on the vertical axis and age on the horizontal axis is shown. A diagonal line within the graph depicts a gradual increase in damage to health over time.
In some cases, the damage to our health caused by exposure to poor air may be gradual and may not become apparent for many years. Pregnancy is a critical time, and exposure to air pollution in the womb can result in low birth weight, premature births, organ damage, or stillbirth.
Blue icons of a baby and a small child appear. A pair of blue lungs appear within the chest of the child, which slowly change colour from blue to red. Then an image of an asthma inhaler appears near the child's head.
For children, exposure to air pollution can have a long-standing effect on lung function growth, which can result in breathing difficulties and asthma.
A row of four identical stick people appears. A blue blood sugar testing device appears next to the first person and changes colour to red. A heart then does the same inside the second person, a pair of lungs in the third, and a brain in the fourth.
In adulthood, air pollution is known to be one of the factors that cause diabetes, heart disease, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and stroke. There is also new evidence that suggests there is a link between air pollution and a faster onset of dementia.
A row of 5 identical stick people appears. A red exclamation mark appears above the head of the middle person, and the other 4 stick people then fade away.
Air pollution can affect everyone, but some people are more at risk than others.
The stick person with the exclamation mark above it is shown with a house to its left, a factory emitting smoke to its right, and a busy road in front of it.
People are more at risk if they live or regularly work in an area where air quality is poor, such as near a busy road or a rail station. Others may be more at risk because they have a medical condition which makes them more vulnerable to the effects of poor air, such as lung or heart disease, asthma or diabetes.
Rows of small stick people appear, one at a time until the screen is full. The number 80 appears over the top of the people and counts down to 75.
Every year, exposure to air pollution is estimated to cause millions of deaths and the loss of healthy years of life worldwide. It is estimated that each year in the UK, long-term exposure to man-made air pollution impacts on shortening lifespans, equivalent to 28,000 to 36,000 deaths. Even small reductions in the pollution of the air we breathe could have a positive health effect, reducing the number of cases of heart disease, strokes, asthma and lung cancer.
The front cover and first few pages of the air quality strategy for England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland is shown.
Air quality objectives in the UK are outlined in the air quality strategy to manage and monitor the level of pollutants in the air with the aim of protecting human health.
Reducing the health risks from air pollution.
A semicircular gauge labelled air pollution is shown. The dial is green at the left-hand side, then moves round in a clockwise direction through the colours yellow, then orange and finally red. The gauge's needle is pointed towards red. 2 images appear, each with a large red cross over them. One shows a man walking through a cloud of smoke, and the other, a car emitting exhaust fumes, being crossed out.
Through understanding when air pollution is high, we can change our behaviours to reduce both our exposure and contribution to it. The Daily Air Quality Index, often shortened as DAQI, tells us about the levels of pollution in the air outdoors using a simple 10-point scale, with 1 being low pollution and 10 being very high.
A map of Leeds is shown with several circles containing the number 2 spread across the city. Below the map is a large scale going from 1 to 10. The numbers 1, 2 and 3 are marked as low, 4, 5 and 6 as moderate, 7, 8 and 9 as high, and 10 as very high.
As can be seen on this map of Leeds. Anyone can monitor the air quality forecast by visiting www.uk-air.defra.gov.uk. On most days, the air pollution level in Leeds is low, but when it is high, the DAQI also provides advice on how to stay safe. Some of the key messages include: anyone experiencing discomfort, such as sore eyes, a cough, or a sore throat, should consider reducing physical activity, particularly when outdoors. Adults and children with lung problems should reduce strenuous physical exertion, particularly when outdoors, or if you experience symptoms. Adults with heart problems should reduce strenuous physical exertion, particularly when outdoors, or if you experience symptoms. Adults and children with asthma may need to use their reliever inhaler more often. Older people should reduce physical exertion.
A map of Leeds is shown with a bell icon containing the letter I in its centre. The Met Office logo appears to the left of the map and a stick person to the right. The text high and very high then appears under the Met Office logo, which triggers an email icon to move from the bell to the stick person.
In Leeds, an alert system has been developed to make it easier for people to get information about air quality in the city. When air pollution in Leeds is forecast to be high or very high by the Met Office, the system sends an email which outlines the daily air quality index score and the advice on how to stay safe. Anyone can sign up to receive these alerts by visiting www.leeds.gov.uk/clean-air-from-air-pollution
The Leeds.gov website is shown.
and clicking on the Sign up for pollution alerts link.
Two sick people appear, each with a red exclamation mark above their heads. Both have an email icon in their left hands. A set of lungs appears within the chest of one person and a heart appears within the chest of the other.
These alerts are particularly helpful for people who are at higher risk of ill health from air pollution, such as people who have a respiratory or cardiovascular illness. Reducing our own contribution to poor air quality.
The air pollution gauge with its needle moving towards red is shown.
Especially when we know air pollution is forecast to be high, is one of the best ways to collectively tackle this large-scale environmental and public health problem.
You can support in reducing outdoor air pollution by considering the following steps.
Leaving your car at home where you can, to walk or cycle for shorter journeys, or consider car sharing or using public transport for longer journeys if this is possible. Turning off your engine when you are stationary for 2 minutes or longer. This will reduce the emissions you emit and will comply with Section 42 of the Road Traffic Act 1988. Switching to an electric vehicle if you are changing your car, as these are cheaper to run and maintain and produce lower levels of harmful emissions. Employers can support sustainable travel in the workplace by providing cycle lockers, bike parking and showers. The Bike Friendly Business team have given more than £250,000 in grants to help employees in West Yorkshire become more bike friendly. To find out more, visit www.cyclecityconnect.co.uk. Indoor air pollution.
A simple line drawing of a house and garage appear, illustrations of a drop of water, an open fireplace, a broken down boiler, cleaning products and a paint can with an aerosol then appear in different areas of the house.
It is important to remember that indoor air pollution can also be detrimental to our health. This can be caused from several factors such as damp living conditions, burning wood or coal, poorly maintained heating appliances, and the use of some cleaning products, solvents, and paints. To reduce your exposure and contribution to indoor air pollution, you can burn less wood and coal to reduce costs and emissions. When you do put your fire on, only use lean fuels such as wood marked with the Ready to Burn logo or manufactured solid fuels which produce less smoke.
An illustration of a cooker appears. On the cooker is an example of an energy efficiency label marked A++.
And make sure your stove meets the standards for energy efficiency. Reduce damp and humidity by keeping your home warm and dry to avoid indoor pollutants from mold and mildew.
Some standard house windows move from closed to wide open.
Letting fresh air in regularly and ventilating rooms is one of the easiest ways to reduce indoor air pollution, especially if you are doing an activity that increases levels of pollutants in the home, such as cleaning products or painting and decorating. Where possible, choose products that are labelled as chemical-free or fragrance-free, as these contain fewer pollutants.
A boiler and an oven appear on screen, both with multiple scuffs and marks on them. A stick person with a wrench attends to the boiler and the marks disappear. The oven is not attended to and a cloud of black smoke appears above it with the word CO2 within it.
Ensure that boilers and ovens are regularly serviced by a professional to ensure they are functioning safely and efficiently. Faulty appliances can sometimes emit carbon monoxide, which is an extremely dangerous air pollutant.
An illustration of a carbon monoxide detector is shown.
make sure your home is fitted with a carbon monoxide detector. Gas hobs can be a major source of air pollution. Therefore, if you are considering an upgrade to your hobs, consider alternative fuel sources such as electric plate, ceramic or induction. For more information on air pollution in Leeds and what we are doing about it, visit www.leeds.gov.uk/clean-air. If you have any questions about the content of this film or would like to know more, please contact phrc@leeds.gov.uk.